I guess so. Yeah.
Although lately it's been pretty dry.
Pretty dry, pretty chilly as well.
Yeah.
So this dry stretch of weather, it does continue as we work our way through the overnight hours and into tomorrow, but that is not stopping those frosty conditions from developing, and that's all courtesy of the clear skies overhead, which does allow for that fog layer to start to develop, just like what we saw over the Vancouver waterfront earlier this morning. After our temperatures managed to fall back into the 20s in many cases, up and down the I-5 corridor at the freezing mark for Salem, and 28 degrees even seen out along the coastline in Tillamook. Temperatures, though, rebounding back up into the mid-40s in many cases, 50s out towards Newport and Astoria at about 50, with plenty of sunshine to go around as we take a beautiful live look at our active sunset, just dipping below the West Hills here from the Vancouver waterfront as we currently sit at about 44 degrees. And our sunset tonight happening at 4:27, and that actually marks today as the earliest sunset that we see all year. Now, if you manage to miss the sunset happening tonight, you get 13 more days all the way through December 15th. We will keep that 4:27 sunset going. But as we approach the winter solstice, the day with the shortest amount of daylight, that's where the sun will be dipping below the horizon at about 4:30. We're still losing daylight, though, during the morning hours with those later sunrises. And then by Christmas Eve, we're talking about 4:32 is that brand new sunset time as we start to grow those days once more. Satellite and radar showing that our cloud-free skies still remain widespread here across western Oregon and southwest Washington as an air stagnation advisory continues all the way through Thursday. So poor air quality, something that we just have to continue to deal with as we fall back to those moderate levels for much of the Willamette Valley. As our visibility has improved with the exception of the southern Willamette Valley, places like Eugene, Springfield down to about 5 miles visibility, Tillamook only down to about 9 as we prepare for the east side of the mountains to potentially see freezing fog once again, very similar to what many of you may have woken up to along the I-5 corridor today, as we still expect to see some frosty conditions for the next 2 mornings. By the time it gets Friday into the weekend, not only do we see warmer temperatures, but our next chance for some moisture. So at least for tomorrow, give yourself an extra minute or two to maybe run by with the ice scraper once more if your vehicle is left to the elements, as high pressure is keeping those skies on the dry side, preventing any new weather systems from moving their way in. But by the time we get to Thursday, that high pressure in the ridge slowly start to break down, allowing for this very shallow shortwave to allow a little bit of moisture and warmer temperatures to find their way back into our forecasting areas. Patchy fog develops tonight into tomorrow. Those easterly winds will help to keep those temperatures closer to 50 for tomorrow. By Wednesday evening, expecting a few more clouds to march their way onshore as we wake up on Thursday with the welcome sight of the moisture once again returning to the I-5 corridor, maybe even some heavier downpours over parts of the coast range. Now that rain potential, it takes us all the way through the weekend and into the start of next week. That's where some long-range weather forecast models could put us close to a full inch of moisture, which would be beneficial because it's been nearly a week with no measurable rainfall. Now, December, typically our wettest month of the year, so we need to see that rain return. 34 degrees is where we expect to fall to tonight with dry skies, more sunshine tomorrow, and highs back up into the 50s as our 7-day forecast does show that wet weather returning Thursday, taking us into the end of the week. But Saturday and Sunday, that has the best chance for the most accumulative and widespread rain showers as those temperatures get back up into the mid-50s, and then we start to slowly dry things out again for the start of next week, with a bit of a cooling trend.
All right. You were saying the longest streak ever for December.
In December, 20 days.
I can't.
Oh,
wow.
we're not going to make that.
No.
We will not make that, which is
Okay.
good.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, a pair of big awards